gas, fertilizers, wheat. Russia produces scarce goods and receives excess profits. We constantly scolded Russia for the raw materials orientation of the national economy. They were wrong. The economy should certainly be balanced, but it turns out to be great to have the entire nomenclature of raw materials on its territory, sufficient for its normal functioning. Look at what is happening in Europe, where the spot price of gas, at its peak, reached $4,000 per thousand cubic meters.Well. Now let's look at the calendar and realize that it's March, winter is already behind us and the prices for blue fuel, in theory, should have already rolled back to annual lows. Yes, and the winter in Europe, this year, was quite warm. European gas storage facilities are critically being emptied, and, in theory, they should already start filling up. How Europe is going to fill them before the new heating season is completely unclear. How, at such energy prices, the largest European enterprises will work and compete with Asian producers is another question. Let me remind you that $4,000 is the price of the European spot market, the fruit of a sick imagination, invented in order to get away from Gazprom's long-term contracts. By the way, under the same long-term contracts, where the cost of gas is calculated using a formula that takes into account average energy prices, oil, gas, its price also increased and, on average, exceeded the $600 mark. At the present time, a very comfortable price, you will agree. However, it will also grow at a very significant pace in the near future. Perhaps in the extremely not distant future it will exceed $1,000. Let me remind you that the prices for contract gas are revised with a lag, of about 9 months. It is not difficult to guess what it will be in October of this year. A couple of weeks ago, we did not believe Dmitry Medvedev, who said that very soon gas prices would exceed $2,000 per thousand cubic meters. Well, now it's time to call him an optimist. Well, now get closer to the daily bread. In order for wheat to be planted in European fields, farmers must fertilize the land. Mostly nitrogen. It is very easy to extract nitrogen and turn it into fertilizer. The proportion of nitrogen in the atmospheric air is 78%. But, in order to turn atmospheric nitrogen into white granules, an indecent amount of energy is needed, electricity, in order to turn fans and gas, for heating and chemical reactions. At the current gas price, nitrogen fertilizers produced in Europe will be simply gold. It is not difficult to guess what this will lead to. What will happen to the supply of fertilizers from Russia is not yet entirely clear. Russia, on its own initiative, imposed a temporary moratorium on their supply. Russian farmers will turn them into products and saturate the domestic market. The Europeans banned the export of Belarusian potassium on their own initiative. Rolls, and loaves are rapidly becoming more expensive in Europe. Capitalism, there's nothing you can do about it. Wheat futures have grown by 84% over the past 6 months. And this is just the beginning. If I'm not mistaken, Russia and the Criminal Code, ANA provided about 30% of Europe's bread needs. So don't panic, there will be bread and warmth in the country. We will still learn how to make smartphones and electric cars. But the long-term prospects for the stability of the European economy are far from rosy.